Good morning, class 12, and welcome to the sociology class. So students, if you remember, then in the last class, I recapitulated the last topic that we have done so far from the chapter Challenges of Cultural Diversity. And that topic was the topic on minorities. So students, after completing this topic, we also did the question answers, if you remember. I shared with you all the question answers from question 1 till question number 7, and that you have already submitted me as your homework. I got most of your homework. That's very good. I appreciate it. But again, there are many who have not submitted yet. So before any strict action is taken, kindly submit, because all records are being kept. Please don't take it lightly. And also, today we will be starting with the next unit of this lesson, and which is also the last unit. And the name of the unit is Communalism, Secularism, and the Nation State. So today, out of these 3 topics, we will be completing the first topic, which is communalism. So we will begin this discussion today. After the discussion is over, I'll be giving you a few questions as homework, which you need to do and submit it to me tomorrow latest. So please stay tuned, because we have got an important discussion coming up on this chapter, and that is on the topic communalism.
Communalism. I'm sure students, you must be very familiar with the word communalism. So when we say communalism, which word comes to our mind? I'm sure the word that comes to your mind is religion, because it is in the field of religion that communalism is seen, isn't it? So communalism is an aggressive chauvinistic behavior. It is a chauvinistic feeling, based on somebody's religion. It is an attitude to see that my group or my religion is better than the other group. It is superior than the others. So communalism is nothing but it is a political ideology which is very, very aggressive. Okay, very, very intense. And when religion is politicized, then communalism crops up. Clear? So communalism is an aggressive political ideology which is linked directly to religion, and it is to prove that my religion is better than somebody else's religion. It is superior or it is better than somebody else's religion. And communalism also occurs when it is seen that religion is the basis for making a nation state. Okay, so when somebody wants their religion to be proved as the highest authority in the state, then comes communalism. But you need to understand that there is a difference of meaning of this term communalism when we talk about the West and when we talk about South Asia particularly. So in the English language, that is in the West, when we say communal or communalism, it is related to the community or collectivity. It is related to any kind of group. It can be a religious group, it can be it can be a tribe, it can be any other form of group. But when we talk about communalism in South Asia and particularly in countries like India, then it means that communalism is a feeling of love, it is a feeling of affection towards one's own religion, and religion is politicized. Okay, so that is why it is said that the English meaning of communalism is neutral. It is not extreme. But in South Asia or in the East, the meaning of communalism is very, very strongly charged. That means it is very, very extreme. Either it is very positive or it is very negative. It is said to be positive. Communalism is said to be positive if somebody is sympathetic, if somebody has got sympathy, if somebody supports communalism. And it is said to be negative if somebody is opposed to it, if somebody says that communalism is not to be encouraged. All right. Again, it is very important to understand that communalism is more about politics. It is not about religion alone. Only when religion is politicized, then only communalism is, related. Then only communalism develops. It is related to politics more than religion. There are communalists who are totally involved with religion. Okay, but there is no necessary relationship between personal faith and communalism. There is a difference between personal faith and communalism. Communalism, you know only. It is nothing but it is, it is politicization of religion. That is communalism. And when we say personal faith, it is your personal belief into some religious ideals. So generally, there is no relationship between a person having a personal faith and communalism. And again, a communalism may be a devote, he may not be a devote. Devote means an ardent believer in something. Okay, so all communalists, they believe in a political ideology based on religion. A person belonging to a particular religion may be a devotee of that religion, may not be a devotee, but that person has identified himself, with a political base on that religion. And the key factor because of which this attitude of communalism has occurred so much is that there are some who believe that their identity, their culture is totally different from others, and their culture, their identity, their religion is superior to anybody else. So that is why it is said that communalists cultivate an aggressive political identity. The communalists are those people who believe that religion is to be politicized, and they are one, they are a homogeneous group only because of their aggressive political identity, and they are prepared to attack anyone who is not ready to share their identity. If they say that there is somebody or a group who is going against their identity, who is trying to overthrow their identity and prove their own chauvinism towards their religion, then they cannot stand it. They definitely condemn it, and it also leads to communal riots. Now let us move on to understand a very important characteristic feature of communalism. So a feature of communalism is that it claims that religious identity overrides everything else. The people who are communalists, who have a strong love towards their own religion, they claim that it is the religious identity that is everything, that is above everything else. No matter you are a rich or a poor, if you belong to my religion, then I am there to support you, because religion is the base of everything. There is nothing else that is above religion. Okay, for example, in India, there are sayings. All Hindus are the same. All Muslims and Sikhs and all the other religions, all are same. They all have their groups. Again, for example, I'm giving you, within the Hindu group, you will see so many subdivisions. Yes or no? And there may be quarrel internally. But when you talk about communalism, when there is an attack on the Hindu in some other part of the country, then all the Hindus, no matter what their caste is, they will all become homogeneous. They will all start acting like one. And this happens because of this communal belief. Okay, it's because of the belief that religion alone counts, that religion alone is above everything else in a country. All right. So it is because of this that there is an effect of constructing large and diverse groups as singular and homogeneous. As I told you, no matter whether you are a Hindu Brahmin, whether you are a Hindu Shudra, a Vaishya, doesn't matter. First of all, what matters is your religion, that you are a Hindu, and because of this, diverse groups becomes singular and homogeneous under communalism. Okay, so again, it is important to note that this is done for one's own group as well as for others. For example, there are Christians all over India. Okay, there are Christians in Kerala also. There are Christians in, for example, northeastern part of India. Now, the Christians who belong to Kerala, they know their own people very well. All right. There are Muslims also living there, Hindus also living there, Christians also. So all these people know better about Kerala. But when it comes to a communal riot, when it comes to a riot against, some religion, then all of a sudden the Christians who belong to Kerala, they will try to sympathize with the Christians living in Northeast India, for example. Okay, so although they know more about Kerala and they are, more familiar with the Hindus and Muslims of Kerala, but still, because it's the question of religion, they will start sympathizing and empathizing with the Northeastern Christians. Same is the case with the Hindus or the Muslims. Doesn't matter which part of the country, state you are living in, which part of the country you are living in. If you are a Hindu or a Muslim and you see that in some other part of the world or of the other part of the country, there is an attack on any Hindu or Muslim, you will directly have sympathy towards that state's Muslims as well. So it is religion that counts, not anything else. And it is this feeling of communalism that ensures that religion is the base of a state. Nothing in the state is above religion. So, when we talk about communalism in India, then it is a very, very, very important issue. It is important in the sense that it has been a source of tension and violence since a long period of time. So, when there is any riot, you understand, when there is any violent occurrence of any event due to religion, then people all of a sudden become faceless members of their respective communities. Faceless members means it doesn't matter whether you belong to a subgroup of that religion. You are a member of that religion means you become faceless member. You are only a Hindu, for example. You are only a Muslim. Forget about you being a Brahmin. Forget about you being a Shudra. You are a Hindu. Okay, so people become faceless, and they are also willing to kill, rape, and loot members of other communities in order to protect themselves and also to redeem and to retain their pride. All right. So, if you see in India, then there is no region that has been wholly free from communal violence. There is communal violence almost everywhere in India, and every religious community has also faced some kind of violence. But of course, the intensity is somewhere low, somewhere very high. So, to the extent that government can be held responsible for communal riots, no government or ruling party can claim to be blameless in this regard. So there are many examples in our own country where you can see that communal riots have taken place under the supervision of the government itself. It has been said like that. So two most important instances are given here in your textbook. I have highlighted them here. The anti-Sikh riots of Delhi in 1984, it took place under a Congress regime. Then the unprecedented scale and spread of anti-Muslim violence in Gujarat in 2002 took place under a BJP government. So there are violence which has occurred even during certain political reigns. That is why we cannot say that political parties are all free from any communalist feelings. Okay, so quickly listen to the points that I'm going to read out now. So when we say communal riots, which we have just talked about now, so it can happen because of political instigation. Okay, then because of one community's revenge on a community, then to regain lost pride or protect their community. And also remember, during riots, violence, loss of lives, destruction of property and assault, looting, rape, everything takes place all around. And whenever there is a communal riot, it is the government in power which must take responsibility, and the government should be the body to protect the victims, not to support any community. Okay, so if you talk about communal riots in India, then in India, communal riots has occurred even before the British came. Okay, not before the British there was unity, but when the British came and before India got independence, there has been history of communal riots ever since. So this communal riots, they become more, they became more highlighted, they became more and more only when the divide and rule policy was devised by the British. All right. So when we talk about India, then you have to remember one thing, that in India, communalism is a must, because it is, there is a coexistence of a lot of religions, pluralism, everything, because of which there is a tendency of people loving their religion and at times overruling the fact that there is a constitution above everything. They want their religion to be the base of everything. Okay, so we should not forget one thing. We should not forget that we have a long tradition of religious pluralism in India, as I told you, and they are always encouraging people to live peacefully. Okay, and this can be seen in the Bhakti and the Sufi saints' ideologies, their poetries and music, isn't it? So in short, History has provided us with both good and bad examples regarding communalism, and what we want to learn from it, it depends on us. We cannot say communalism is all totally bad because it is the love for your religion, which is very good. We cannot say it is totally good because at times communalism becomes so extreme that you started hating the other religion. So it's up to you how you take communalism as. But of course, since we all are Indians and we live in a plural society, let us try to be more tolerant rather than being too much chauvinistic towards our own religion. Okay, so there is a Doha here. I'll just show it to you in box number 6.9. You can read it and you will understand. So this is a Doha by Kabir. I'm sure you have heard about him. And here he have cherished the symbols of pluralism in India. So kindly go through it. So this is all for today, students. We have discussed about communalism and about how it is related to religion and politics. And after this, I'll be giving you a homework, and do the homework and submit it to me by today itself, because it's not a very big question or something like that. So tomorrow we will be going towards the next topic, that is secularism. So thank you, students. Please go through the textbook once you finish watching this video. Thank you so much.